You want something from her. Love, attention, sex, affection, respect. But you don't know how to ask for it, so you drop hints. You pull away hoping she'll chase. You try to be nice. Or, worse, you stay silent. And, still, you don't get what you want. Here's the truth. Most men don't get what they want from women because they never learn how to communicate it clearly, or they try to take it instead of inspire it. They believe the lie that love should be automatic. That if she wanted me, she would just know. But relationships don't work like that. Women aren't mind readers. And love is not a vending machine. This video is not about tricks or tactics. This is about power, real inner power, and the kind of energy that makes a woman want to give you everything without pressure. We're going to dive deep into why you're afraid to ask for what you want, how women really respond to emotional clarity, and the exact mindset shift that turns you into the kind of man women want to give to freely and fully. Because here's the key. If you want something from a woman, you have to learn how to invite it, not extract it. And that starts with you. Let's begin. Before you can get what you want from a woman, you need to be honest about one thing. Do you even know what you truly want? This might sound simple, but it's not. Many men go through relationships chasing feelings they don't fully understand. They think they want sex, but what they're really craving is connection. They ask for space, but what they actually need is reassurance. They stay silent because they don't want to seem weak, but deep down, they just want to be seen. Clarity is power. And if you don't have clarity, she won't either. Let's break this down. Ask yourself honestly. Do I want her to desire me? Do I want her to respect me? Do I want her to listen, support, or nurture me? Do I want to feel safe, loved, or needed? These are not small things. These are core emotional needs, and unless you face them, you'll end up chasing women in ways that feel confusing, disconnected, or desperate. Here's a secret. Women can sense when you don't know what you want. And when you're unclear, it makes them uncertain too. So, before you try to get something from her, go inward. Ask yourself, what do I need from her, and why does it matter to me? For example, if you want more affection, is it because you're feeling emotionally distant? If you want her to open up, is it because you miss feeling close? If you want more physical intimacy, is it because that's how you feel loved? There's no shame in wanting. But owning your want, naming it clearly, is where the strength lies. Let go of the idea that a man must always be stoic, always self-sufficient. Being honest about your desires doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful, because it lets you build relationships on truth, not performance. And one more thing. Don't confuse needing something from her with needing her to fix something inside you. She can offer support, but she's not your therapist, your mother, or your emotional savior. You must meet yourself first. Then, from that solid ground, invite her into your world. When you're clear on what you want, you stop playing games. You stop using silence as punishment or sarcasm as a cry for help. You show up like a man, calm, aware, honest. And that is deeply attractive. Because clarity creates confidence. And women trust confidence more than words. Here's one of the most misunderstood truths in relationships. Women mirror energy. They reflect the emotional tone, the presence, and the leadership of the man in front of them. If you show up with clarity, she feels safe. If you show up with pressure, she pulls away. If you show up numb and distant, she becomes cold and defensive. This doesn't mean women are passive or have no emotional agency. It means they are deeply responsive, often more emotionally attuned than we realize. Imagine you walk into a room where someone is clearly tense, even if they're silent. Your body picks it up. You feel the tension. You start to contract. That's what happens when you bring unresolved energy into a conversation with a woman. She senses it instantly. And without a word, she responds. This is why many men feel confused. Why did she suddenly become cold? Why doesn't she want to be close anymore? Why is she always defensive or irritated? The answer often isn't in her. It's in you. If you carry fear, she'll carry hesitation. If you bring calm, she'll soften. If you lead with openness, she'll meet you there. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You're human. You'll have off days. You'll be tired, frustrated, even broken at times. But here's the shift. It's not about being flawless. It's about being present. Women don't need you to be a superhero. They need to feel you're real, that you're grounded, that you see her, not just your own reflection. Because when she senses that you're present with her, not reacting from fear, not chasing validation, something opens up in her. And that opening is where connection, intimacy, and real giving begins. Let's be clear. You don't get what you want from women by demanding it. You don't get it by playing it cool. You get it by being the kind of man who evokes her trust. And that starts by looking in the mirror. What are you putting out? If your energy says, I'm desperate, she'll resist. If your energy says, I'm indifferent, she won't trust. But if your energy says, I'm here, open and real, you create space for her to be the same. A woman's nervous system naturally responds to your nervous system. So, if you want warmth, give warmth. If you want honesty, lead with it. If you want affection, offer safety. Remember, she's not your opponent. She's not your prize. She's your mirror. And what she reflects back to you often starts with you. If you remember only one thing from this entire video, let it be this. A woman gives the most when she feels the safest. It doesn't matter how attractive you are, how much money you make, or how smooth your words sound. If she doesn't feel emotionally safe with you, she won't open. Not fully, not deeply, not consistently. What does emotional safety mean? It's not about protecting her from the world. It's about showing her she doesn't have to protect herself from you. Think about that. Most women, especially strong, emotionally intelligent women, walk through life on guard. Why? Because they've been hurt, silenced, used, lied to, and their nervous systems have learned. Don't trust too easily. Don't soften too fast. So when you come into her life, she's scanning you, often unconsciously. She's asking, can I be soft here? Can I express myself without being punished or dismissed? Can I show him my needs without being called needy? Can I rest? Or do I have to fight to be heard? If the answer is yes, she melts. She gives. She trusts. But if the answer is no, she armors up. And no amount of charm, logic, or pressure will break through that armor. So how do you create emotional safety? Presence over performance. Don't try to impress her. Be with her. Really be there. Listen with your body, not just your ears. Let her feel you're not waiting for your turn to speak. You're here to understand. Consistency over charisma. Be predictable in your character. Not boring, but reliable. She needs to know that your emotional tone doesn't swing based on your mood, her actions, or your ego. Validation without fixing. When she opens up, don't rush to solve. Let her feel that her emotions are valid, even when you don't fully understand them. Sometimes just saying, I get that, I hear you, is all she needs. Boundaries without blame. You can say no. You can express needs. But do it without punishment or coldness. Set boundaries with care, not control. Emotional safety isn't about being nice. It's about being strong enough to hold her feelings without making them about you. And when a woman feels that, she will surprise you. She'll give more than you ever asked for. She'll express affection freely. She'll initiate. She'll support you in ways you didn't know you needed. Because when a woman feels safe, she stops surviving and starts loving. Let's be brutally honest. Most men don't ask for what they want. They hint. They withdraw. They sulk. They act out. Why? Because asking feels risky. It means revealing vulnerability. And many men would rather manipulate than admit, I want this from you. But here's the problem. Manipulation kills connection. Let's look at a few common manipulative patterns. You get quiet when she doesn't act the way you want, hoping she'll notice and fix it. You compliment her only when she behaves a certain way, teaching her your love is conditional. You create jealousy, bringing up other women just to get a reaction. You guilt her, saying things like, after everything I do for you, instead of expressing a real need. You may not even realize you're doing it, but she feels it. And over time, it erodes trust. Here's the truth. What you're not saying is louder than what you are. If you want more attention, say it. If you want her to open up, tell her. If you want her to stop criticizing you and just appreciate what you bring, speak up. Not in anger. Not in shame. In calm, clear truth. Example. Hey, I've been feeling a little disconnected lately. I miss your touch, and I just wanted to share that with you. That's not weakness. That's courage. Because asking requires two things manipulation can never offer. Self-awareness. Respect for her freedom. When you manipulate, you're trying to control her response. When you ask, you're giving her a choice. And yes, that means she might say no. She might not respond the way you hoped. But that's the beauty of it. If she gives it freely, it means it's real. And if she doesn't, at least you know where you truly stand. Manipulation creates short-term results and long-term resentment. Asking creates space for real connection. Let her choose you. Let her give to you because she wants to, not because she's afraid, confused, or being played. And here's a bonus. Women respect men who can ask without pressure. It shows strength. It shows clarity. It shows maturity. You don't need tricks. You need truth. And when you lead with truth, you get what's real in return. If you want a woman to truly want you, to trust you, respect you, desire you, you need more than words. You need integrity. What is integrity? It's not just honesty. It's alignment. It means your words, your actions, your energy, they all match. You say what you mean. You follow through. You show up even when it's hard. Women are incredibly perceptive. They can feel when something is off. When you say you're fine but your energy says otherwise. When you compliment her but secretly resent her. When you act confident but crumble under pressure. She may not always explain it logically, but she'll feel it in her body. And if she doesn't trust your energy, she won't trust your intentions. Attraction isn't just about chemistry. It's about congruence. A man with integrity is grounded. He doesn't say yes when he means no. He doesn't flatter to get his way. He doesn't bend his values just to avoid conflict. He's not perfect, but he's honest about who he is. And that's magnetic. Because here's the truth. Women aren't just looking for charm. They're looking for safety, emotional, mental, energetic. And integrity is what builds that safety. Let's break this down. What does integrity look like in practice? You don't ghost. If you're done, you say it. You close the loop. You respect her time and emotions. You don't promise what you can't deliver. You don't talk about forever if you're not even sure about tomorrow. You don't say, I love you, just to get closer, unless you mean it. You don't pretend to be the nice guy while building quiet resentment. You speak your truth. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. You take responsibility for your energy. You don't blame her for your bad moods, your past wounds, or your unmet needs. Integrity creates trust. Trust creates openness. Openness creates connection. And connection is what makes a woman want to give you what you desire. You don't have to chase love when you're aligned with it. You don't have to beg for affection when your presence is steady. And if you ever wonder whether you're being manipulative or in integrity, ask yourself this. If she could see my thoughts and feel my heart right now, would she feel safe or suspicious? Because real power, the kind that makes women want to be close, doesn't come from control. It comes from consistency, transparency, stability. That's integrity. That's attraction at its core. You've done the inner work. You know what you want. You're not manipulating. You're standing in integrity. Now comes the part most men avoid. Actually having the conversation. Because let's face it, it's vulnerable. Asking for more closeness, affection, respect, sex, or emotional connection feels risky. What if she laughs? Dismisses you? Thinks you're weak? But here's the truth. Having the conversation is the bravest thing you can do. And when done right, it builds connection, not tension. Let's make this simple and real. Step 1. Set the tone. Pick a calm moment. No arguments, no raised voices, no emotional storms. Say something like, "Hey, can we talk for a few minutes? I just want to share something honestly." That already shows maturity. You're not dumping emotions, you're inviting connection. Step 2. Use I language. Speak from your experience, not accusations. Avoid saying you never or you always. Instead say, "I've been feeling a little disconnected, and I realized I really miss when we used to cuddle more. I've noticed I've been craving more support from you, emotionally. Just having you listen means a lot to me." It's not about blaming. It's about revealing. Step 3. Be specific. Don't say, "I need more from you." That's vague and confusing. Say exactly what you want. "I'd love for us to spend more one-on-one time each week. It would mean a lot to me if you hugged me when I get home. Could we have more conversations where we check in emotionally?" The more specific, the easier it is for her to respond and succeed. Step 4. Make space for her reaction. Don't just talk, listen. Let her process. She might feel surprised, defensive, or unsure. Resist the urge to force agreement. Instead say, "You don't have to have the perfect answer now. I just wanted to share what's real for me." This disarms pressure and keeps the door open. Step 5. Stay steady. This is key. Don't backpedal. Don't apologize for having needs. If you cave the second she hesitates, you teach her your needs aren't real. They're just experiments. Hold your truth with calm strength. You're not demanding. You're not begging. You're offering a bridge, an invitation. And if she walks across that bridge, even just a few steps, appreciate her. Let her know it means something to you. Because when women feel safe, seen, and successful in loving you, they will give more than you ever asked for. So, you opened up. You spoke your truth. You didn't play games. You stood in your clarity, presence, and honesty. And still, maybe she didn't respond. Maybe she shut down, changed the subject, laughed it off. Maybe she got defensive, or even walked away. Now what? Here's the truth. Not every woman will meet you where you are. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her readiness. You are not here to convince anyone to love you the right way. You are here to show up as your full self and see who's willing to meet you there. Some women aren't used to men who are emotionally clear. Some are afraid of vulnerability, not just in others, but in themselves. Some are so used to dysfunction that healthy communication feels foreign, even threatening. And that's okay. Because this journey, the one you're on, it's not just about getting what you want from women. It's about becoming a man who lives in truth, who builds love on mutual freedom, and who refuses to settle for performance over connection. You may lose a few women along the way, but the ones who stay, the ones who lean in, they'll meet you in places you didn't even know existed. So, if she doesn't respond the way you hoped, honor that. It's not a failure. It's clarity. And clarity is a gift. Because now you know. Now you see. Now you're free to either try again or walk away with dignity. You do not have to beg for love. Real love comes through truth, not pressure. Through alignment, not manipulation. Through invitation, not control. If you want something from a woman, anything, here's what you do. Know what you want. Be clear with yourself first. Show up with emotional presence, not pressure. Ask with courage, not games. Live with integrity even when it's hard. Let her choose you freely, without force. Accept the truth of her response with grace. Because the man who gets what he wants from women is the man who doesn't need to take. He creates the kind of connection where giving becomes natural. Not out of fear, not out of guilt, but out of love. And that kind of love, it lasts.